uh, young man. I don't know. He may have been 14 or 15, young kid, when I was doing the political education program for the West Side office of the Black Panther Party, and I think we were reading Lenin's State and Revolution. He could hardly read, but this young kid struggled with that text. I will never forget that, even though he had to look up every other word. And I remember thinking, why can't the schools get kids to develop that kind of relationship to reading and knowledge? And, and, and I wanted to ask you, how did you generate excitement about the learning process at the Oakland School?
Well, we were excited about it, first of all. And if we weren't, in our staff meetings, we would talk about why we weren't excited. And we would root out those things that get in the way of us being totally present with each child. We had not been trained at first about, for instance, different learning styles, or as they're called, disabilities. But there was a wonderful woman just walked in the door of the school one day and taught us as much as she could about, for instance, dyslexia. So we found that there were all kinds of reasons why, but one is that the schools have been set up it's not the teachers, and quite often not the leadership of the schools, in a particular district. Schools have been set up as warehousing for children during the time of war and men going off and women having to work and so on, or even before that, just warehousing bodies. And then at a multi-generational level, Black people were not allowed to learn. And that intervention on that didn't occur for everyone. Some people had access to tutors and those who were able to teach them, right? So what we did was we worked with individual children who needed to learn to read. We didn't have any judgment about why they could not read, because some of us had been those children. And we talked to parents so that they understood we weren't blaming them. We weren't blaming teachers. We were looking at things structurally, and we wondered what you just asked about. Why can't we do this differently? That is the reason why the Oakland Community School was called a model. We wanted people to come and visit, and they did come and visit and feel like, well, we could add this into our classroom. Maybe they couldn't change the overarching structure of a state's Department of Education or a district in a city, but we could work with the individual children. And when they were inspired to learn to read, they did.